Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Simon from Scar Illustration, and I hope you're keeping well. Today I'm going to talk about progress versus perfection. Let's dive in. Back in the day, I loved photorealistic art. In fact, the more realistic it looked, the more perfect it looked to me. And so I wanted every painting or piece of art that I created to be perfect. And if it wasn't, then I would simply throw it away and start again. Back then, I thought that artists that weren't creating what I considered to be perfect art were somehow lesser in my mind at that time. And so began a long and winding road of frustration, because I could never quite create what I had pictured in my mind. I would spend enormous amounts of time on every piece of art, thinking that this time it would be perfect. But of course, it never was, and never would be. After a while, I figured out that perfection was going to take time, and in my case, a lot of time. So instead of toiling over every painting or sketch, I decided I would zero in on the things that needed work, and leave everything else in a somewhat primitive state. For me, it was no longer about creating a masterpiece every time, but more about learning as much as I could from every sketch or painting. As a result, I became a lot less precious about my work, seeing every piece as merely a stepping stone to creating something better next time. At this point in time, the internet was just kicking off, and there weren't anywhere near the resources that are available today. So I started getting books on anatomy, composition, folds and drapery, how to oil paint, and life drawing. Yes, I got a book on life drawing, and the reason for that was, every time I went to life drawing, I was super unhappy with the results. Most other artists that I talked to strongly recommended that I should do some form of life drawing. But the problem was that I didn't really know how to get the most out of it. For me, it went by way too fast. I always felt like I was fighting with the materials, as well as trying to record what was in front of me. Eventually, after a lot of trial and error, I figured it out. By using different materials and trying out some tips from the book, things started to finally click. And only then did it become clear why everyone kept suggesting life drawing to me. On top of that, I also started to get my work reviewed at Comic-Cons and at meetups to get a better idea of where I was falling short and how to tackle those weaknesses. So I came up with a daily routine whereby I would spend some of my time studying anatomy, other time attending life drawing classes, creating master studies of artists that I admired, and also creating my own work to keep my creative hand in, whilst working a full-time job. I ended up studying for about 3 to 4 hours a day to try and get better as quickly as possible. And after a couple of years, I could really see how much I had progressed. Fast forward to today, and my view on perfection and what I consider to be great art is completely different from when I started out. Because for me, perfection is a fleeting experience. What looks perfect today will most likely look imperfect tomorrow or soon after. So the most important thing for me is that I'm moving forward, I'm progressing, and not stagnating. I'm no longer agonizing over every painting and spending way more time than I should. But instead, I'm doubling down on putting my heart and soul into my work, rather than trying to make every aspect perfect. Because in my humble opinion, perfection doesn't exist. It's subjective at best, and different for everyone. For For me, chasing perfection just resulted in lots of frustration, and over time my tastes changed anyway. My eye developed, and what I enjoy creating also changed. Create the best art you can at that time, and be proud of what you've created, because over the next art hill will be another challenge that will push you further. Hope this was helpful, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Please consider liking this video and subscribe to my channel. Have a good one, and keep on painting.